Good morning and Sairam to all. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. In previous video we have started our chapter the cell. In previous video we have covered introduction about cell, organization of cells in organisms, variation of cells. So before going to start today's video, what we are going to do? We will do a quick revision what we have learnt in our previous video. So let us start. What do you mean by the cell? The cell is the smallest part of the body. Clear? If you will join lots of cell, they will make tissue. Lots of tissue, collection of lots of tissue make organs, and collection of organs make organ system, and organ system, different organ system together form a organism. So this is the definition of cell and organization of the cell in the organisms. Now according to variation of cell can be divided according to shape, size and the number. Clear? According to number, cells are two types: multicellular organism and unicellular organism. Multicellular organisms are those organisms in which different cells perform different function. And like a man, dog, they all have different organs to perform different function. The next one is unicellular. Unicellular organisms are those organisms in which all the function performed by the single organ, like your amoeba, hydra. They all are the example of your unicellular. Now according to shape, there are different type of shapes: spindle, circular. So according to that, cells are divided like RBC, WBC. RBC are thread-like structure, RBC are circular structure, WBC are thread-like structure. Is this clear? So this is a part 2 of the cell. And what we are going to cover here? We are going to cover here structure and function of the cell. What we are going to cover here? We are going to cover here structure and the function of cells. Now, part of the cell. All plants and animal cells have three basic parts. All plants and animal cells have three basic parts. Number 1, cell membrane. Number 2, cytoplasm. Number 3, nucleus. Is this clear to you? All plants and animal cells have how many parts? They have 3 parts. Number 1, cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Now in this video we will cover cell membrane and cytoplasm. Nucleus we will cover in next video. So let us start. This is the structure of cell. So here is cell membrane, cytoplasm, ribosome, nucleus, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, chloroplast, cell wall, vocal, googly bodies, nucleus, mitochondria, rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this is a basic structure of cells, and these all are the parts of these 3 basic parts. Clear? You will more understood this diagram after finishing this video and third part of the video. Now let us start with the cell membrane. Cell membrane is also known as your plasma membrane. Cell membrane is also known as your plasma membrane. So what is the first point? The thin outer covering of the cell. The thin outer covering of the cell is called a cell membrane. What is a cell membrane? See here. The thin outer covering, this outer covering, is known as your cell. it is present in both. That means it is present in animal cell also as well as plant cell also. It present in both animal as well as plant. It is thin, delicate and elastic material. Thin means it is very thin, delicate means very soft, and elastic means it can stretch. So what are the 3 points come under cell membrane? The first point is the thin outer covering of the cell is called the cell membrane. The second one, it is present in both animal as well as plant cells. It is a thin, delicate and elastic material. It is a thin, delicate and elastic material. Is this clear to you? Now, its main functions are as follows. Number 1, it separates cells from one another. It separates different cells from one another. Second, it is living. It is a living cell, porous and allows a movement of substance both inwards and outwards. Second, it separates the content of the cell from the environment. Clear? So what are the 3 main functions of cell membrane? Number 1, it separates cells from one another. The second one is it is living, porous and allows the movement of substance both inwards and outwards. It separates the content of the cell from the environment. Is this clear to you? Now, in plants, an additional covering is present around the cell membrane. In plants, one additional covering is present around the cell membrane, and that is called as your cell wall. That is called as your cell wall. That means cell wall present only in the plant cell. It is not present in a animal cell. Clear? The cell wall is your non-living and ridged. It is your non-living and ridged. Its main function, what is its main function? Its main function is provide rigidity, shape and protection of the cell. What do you mean by cell wall? Basically, your cell wall is your additional coverage which present around the cell membrane in the plant cell. Clear? Now, and it is non-living and ridged. And what is the function of cell wall? Basically, your cell wall provides shape, rigidity and protection to the cell. Is this clear to you now? This is a diagram of animal cell. See here, no cell wall is there. Clear? This is the picture of your plant cell. This is your cell membrane, and out of cell membrane, this is your non-living ridged coverage is there, and this is known as your cell wall. Is this clear to you? See, this is your cell wall. Clear? Now, nucleus. There is a spherical shaped structure present in the center of the cell which is surrounded by cytoplasm, and that is known as your nucleus. See here. This. Surrounded by cytoplasm. And these all are the parts of cytoplasm. These all are the part of cytoplasm. And this is your nucleus which is surrounded by your cytoplasm. Is this clear? So, there is a spherical shaped structure, not circular, but it is a spherical shape present in the center of the cell. There is a spherical shaped structure present in the center of the cell. Present in the center of the cell, which is surrounded by cytoplasm. Which is surrounded by cytoplasm is called your nucleus. Is this clear? Now, nucleus is the center of the all activities. Number 1, nucleus is the control of all the activities that take place in the cell. Nucleus is the control of all activities that take place in the cell. The second point is sorry, most cells have one nucleus. Most cells have one nucleus. Some may have more than one. Some may have more than one. The nucleus is considered to be the brain of the cell. Nucleus is to be considered as the brain of the cell. And the last one is, a nucleus consists of 4 components as shown in the flow chart. That means your nucleus can be divided into 4 parts. Your nucleus can be divided into 4 parts. Number 1, nuclear membrane. Number 2, nucleoplasm. Number 3, nucleus. And number 4, chromosomes. Is this clear to you? I am reading this slides once more. Listen carefully. Number 1, nucleus is the control center of all the activities that take place in the cell. The second one is most cells have one nucleus. Some may have more than one. The nucleus is considered to be brain of the cell. And the last one, nucleus can be divided into 4 parts. Number 1, nuclear membrane. Number 2, nucleoplasm. Number 3, nucleus. And number 4, chromosomes. Now, see, this is your nucleus and it is divided into 4 parts: chromosome, nucleus, nuclear envelope, that is nuclear membrane, and nuclear pores and chromatin. Clear? Now, what do you mean by nuclear membrane? Your nuclear membrane is the outermost covering of the nucleus. What do you mean by nuclear membrane? Nuclear membrane is your outermost covering of the nucleus. It's called your nuclear membrane. It is porous and allows the movement of material between the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. What do you mean by nuclear membrane? Nuclear membrane is the outermost covering of the nucleus. Your nuclear membrane is the outermost covering of the nucleus and it is called a nuclear membrane. And what its work? It is porous and allows the movement of material between the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. Is this clear? Now, what do you mean by nucleus? It is a discrete, densely stained spherical structure found in the nucleus. It is a discrete, densely stained spherical structure found in a nucleus, and it is not surrounded by any membrane. It is called as a suborganelle. It is not surrounded by any membrane and it is known as your organelle. The main role of the nucleus is to synthesize RNA and assemble ribosome. RNA ribosome is a part of your cytoplasm, which we will cover in our next video. Clear? I am reading once more. Listen carefully. It is a discrete, densely stained spherical structure. See here. See, it is nucleus. Clear? This one, the green part. Clear? So, it is a discrete, densely stained spherical structure found in the nucleus. It is not surrounded by a membrane. It is sometimes called a suborganelle, and the main role of the nucleus is to synthesize RNA and assemble ribosome. Clear? Now, the next one is nucleoplasm. It is a jelly-like substance that fills up the nucleus. What do you mean by nucleoplasm? Nucleoplasm is a jelly-like substance that fills up the nucleus, and it is also known as your nucleus sap. It is also known as your nucleus sap. So, what do you mean by nucleoplasm? It is a jelly-like substance that fills up nucleus, and it is also known as your nucleus sap. clear? Now, chromosome. The thread-like structure present in the nucleus are called chromosome. What are chromosome? The thread-like structure present in the nucleus are called chromosome. C. Lymosome. They carry a number of genes. What chromosome carry? Chromosome carry number of genes which carry a genetic material called DNA. And with the help of DNA, the characters can transmit from parents to children. So what do you mean by chromosome? Chromosome is a thread-like structure present in the nucleus. Chromosome is a thread-like structure present in the nucleus are called chromosome. They carry a number of genes. Which carry a genetic material called DNA. It helps in transmitting character from one parents to their children. Now, there are two types of chromosome, eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells the cells in which the nuclear material is surrounded by a nuclear membrane is called as your eukaryotic cells. All organisms other than viruses, bacteria and blue algae that have eukaryotic cells are called eukaryotes. This is the eukaryotic cells. Clear? These are ribosomes, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, this is nucleus, and this is membrane. This is surrounded by a membrane, and in which nucleus are surrounded by a membrane is known as your eukaryotic cells. What do you mean by prokaryotic cells? In which the nuclear material is not surrounded by a cell membrane. Nuclear membrane are called prokaryotic cells. Organisms like bacteria, blue algae which do not have cell membrane in their cells are called prokaryotes. These are the examples. It is not covered by any membrane. Is this clear to you? With this we have done cell membrane and nucleus. In next video we are going to cover the last part, that is cytoplasm. If you are having any doubt, you can message me. I will clear everything. Thank you and Sairam.